А. Очень позитивное начало, да, согласен. Доброго всем вечера. Рад всех вас видеть, слышать, ощущать ваше присутствие в чате, а может быть еще где-нибудь. У меня, кстати, возможно, мультичат не работает. Скорее всего, он не работает. У меня такое ощущение. Ну, там Володя, я вижу, пришел. Ага. А, это мой этот плагинчик не работает. Сейчас, секундочку, друзья мои. Я сейчас немножечко себе это... Как тебя тут... Как тебя подправить-то? А, во, нашел. Так, мульти... Ять. Сейчас я себе верну его, а то я что-то это... А вот, док-панель. Док-панель скопировать. Сейчас, хоп, вставил. Применил. И чё, закрыл. Обновил. Так, черканите быренько что-нибудь мне в чатец. Я хочу проверить, все ли работает. О, отлично. Буряво. Буряво. И вам тоже буряво. Все, мне заработало. Что-то, видимо, этот Donation Alert решил все мне обновить. Пришлось заново все подгружать. Володька, я видел тебя. Здорово. Сегодня тебя вспоминал. Смотрел кадры из Space Marines. И что-то тогда вспомнилось. А куда мы идем? А, мы в Баклад идем. Баклад. Это практически как Баклер из Ведьмака 3-го.
This used to be a trade route for merchants crossing the Scars, till the Republic laid a new road wide enough to let wagons pass, and all official traffic moved there.
Это типа не подходит?
Indeed. I doubt we'll be the only outlaws on the trail today.
Я что-то не вижу ни одного беззаконника. Где они все? Либо плащик подменить, а то что-то он уже там снизу подострепался. Да. Многоеды, страшные существа. С ними надо справляться как можно раньше. Я, честно, не хочу. О, мужики. Сейчас, погодите. А, вот, бой прошел. Йонаш!
Really? It's as bad as that? Oh, aye. There's trouble up ahead. And too much of it for us to handle.
I take it there's danger on the road.
What about this fearsome-looking fellow? You think he'd be equal to the task?
Oh, no doubt. Assuming he's willing to hear us out. Well met, friend. My brother and I have been tasked with finding a merchant's missing cart. You seen it by any chance?
How does a merchant misplace his cart?
Oh, the man's a coward. When he thought goblins might come a-snarling, he ran, leaving his livelihood abandoned in the pass.
He sent the two of us to fetch it, but it's gone. Now, I'm not much of a thinker, but I know the work of thieves when I see it.
My brother's right on all accounts. And by my estimation, the bastards are lying in wait just down the road.
We may have seen our share of action, true, but we've not got the skill in arms to boldly brave an ambush.
You, however, have the look of a man who needn't fear a band of
Спасибо,
backwoods
веру в меня.
ruffians. What do you say?
Да, вообще легко.
Help us out?
Давайте, братки.
Chances
Что там,
are
кому?
they'll come for you either way. But if you promise to lend us a hand, at least you'll pocket a reward for your troubles.
Да, давай.
Well, if I'm going to have to deal with them anyway.
You've clearly got a fine head on those broad shoulders.
We're lucky you came along. Now, hoping to make a heavy purse in Boklad, our merchant friend loaded his cart with as much as it would carry. Reckon he won't be forking over the rest of our fee if we don't find those goods. So, while you're seeing to those bandits, you keep your eyes open.
All right. Just don't expect me to drag the cart out of there myself.
No. You can leave the cart to us. You just put an end to those bandits and point us in the right direction. You do that, we'll take care of the rest.
Вообще не подозрительные ребята, да? Типа сразу смотришь и веришь им. Типа, ну да. Посмотрите телегу.
I'm not sure I trust those two. But if there are bandits lying in wait, I should probably take...
Look lively, you lot. We've got guests.
These must be our bandits.
Можете как-то кучнее встать? Драться-то будем? Наконец-то. Все, давай. Еще неплохой урон. А, господи, я думал, я на Джилл кинулся уже. В озверевшей своей форме. Это там типа ребят подвалило чуть-чуть. А я их даже не видел. Ха-ха. Я увернулся. Без контратаки. Наконец-то, господи. А чем ты захлебнулся? Я ж тебе просто в череп долбанул кулаком. Зубами есть только своими. Стальной шелк 15 штук. Отлично. Награда. Да нет там никакой телеги, они тебя просто нагло использовали в надежде, что ты засаду перебьешь. А можешь заманить хотели. Ту самую... Может они сообщники? Не, ну они, подожди. Они не сообщники, иначе бы они так вслух не обсуждали. Что, тут больше реально ничего нет? Блин. А с другой стороны, а есть ли смысл что-то искать? Что я там найду? Ух. Как сильно пинан... А, нет, смотри-ка. И правда, вот она. Телега. Что в телеге? И не наша проблема.
Found the cart and didn't leave a single bastard breathing. Our merchant friend will be delighted.
Допустим.
And how exactly will he be getting his goods out of here?
You leave that to us. After all, it'd be wrong to make such a fine warrior haul cabbages to market.
You've done your part. And that's all you need to worry about. Here.
Что ты мне дал там?
It's been a pleasure. Now piss off.
There's no need to be so rude, brother. What if we want his help again next time?
Как они мне не нравились, так они мне и не нравятся. Окей, окей. Будем считать, что они просто грубияны. Че, может, пару слов хоть скажешь? Джилл, ты, например. То мы в очень странной ситуации сейчас побывали. Окей, ладно, это никого не волнует, только меня. Не заинтригован. Ну, там Джилл что-то сражается, молодец такая. Как мы с этим мечиком бежим, так немножко корявенько. Как будто прихрамывает. О, все. Вот так мы стали победителями боя, в котором даже не участвовали. Ого. Вот это Тениагарский водопад. А, погоди, типа это...
So this is Zemeckis.
Семекис.
Land of the gods. It's even more impressive than I imagined.
Ну
I
да.
remember being captivated by the story as a child.
Long, long ago, man was overcome by avarice and challenged the gods in a bid to win their power. A final battle took place here, at these falls. Or so the legend
Ну да,
goes.
выглядит как огромный кратер, и правда.
If anyone ever manages to plumb those depths, perhaps we'll learn if there's any truth to the tale.
That the gods emerged victorious and punished man for his defiance by visiting upon him 2 curses.
Dominant sin bearers. To tell the truth, I always thought it strange that the dominants and their icons were deemed a curse. Back home, the dominant inherited the throne. They were admired and exalted, not spurned. Whenever I got to that part of the story, I always assumed there must be something I'd misunderstood.
You had a lot of storybooks, didn't you? In your room, I mean. When we were young.
The old legends were always my favorites. Epic battles between gods and men. Father encouraged me to read as much as I could. He thought it good for my education.
You really were a boy like any other, weren't you?
Just look at this place. It's enough to make you believe the legends are true.
I know.
We're not far from Boklad. The road will be busier up ahead.
Then we'll have to keep our wits about us. Clive? Something wrong?
Nothing. It's nothing.
Все в порядке и Дэнди. Тем временем. Ну, давайте, да. О, уже устал играть, хоть посмотрим, расслабимся. Новая священная столица. Ага. А, это.
I see the reports are true, Father. You have surrendered the throne to Olivier.
Видимо, да.
I have. Emperor Olivier shall rebuild the Holy Empire of Sambrec.
Да.
How is he to rule an empire? He is but a boy.
I shall advise him until he comes of age,
Father, please.
or for as long as I am able. The empire we seek to build needs young blood to rule it, and I can think of none better suited to the task. There is other news, Dion. Hugo Kupka is dead, and Drake's Fang destroyed. The pillars of the Republic have fallen. Ere long, the Imperial banner shall fly over every city in Storm. And then Valisthea. all shall bow before their emperor.
Father, these are the words of a tyrant.
They are the words of a god. The emperor whom I gladly serve. Great Greeker, made flesh.
Вот это тебе, конечно, мозги-то прям втерли хорошо. И что ты сделаешь сейчас? Что это? Смотри, какая палка. А что, типа, рука больше не работает?
Return to your camp, Dion, and ready your forces. It is time to show the world the true power of Sanbreque.
Да, мужик, на старость лет тебя что-то понесло. Цветы всем раздает.
I find you much changed. Is this truly the path you wish to tread? Or are these the ambitions of another? Of Ultima, perhaps?
What nonsense is this? I speak my mind, and my mind only.
Окей.
Though I do owe Annabella thanks for reminding me of certain truths regarding the nature of nations, of rulers, and of the divine.
You would trust the words of this traitress? She betrayed her country. She slew her husband.
You have ever been an invaluable servant to Sanbreque, Prince Dion. I trust you will continue to serve your emperor in the wars to come.
The canker! Silence! Insolent wretch! You will bend the knee. All else is heresy.
Sire, forgive me.
This audience is over. Come.
Падение Хоруса не меньше.
The Rowena Syndicate awaits your pleasure.
Oh, not another meeting with silly old men. They're so boring. I'm hungry, Father. Can't we have luncheon instead?
Мужик, который...
Pain you that you will not inherit your father's throne.
Ты слышь? Че, поиздеваться решила?
Suffered worse.
Count your blessings, Dion. For a base-born child to be chosen by Bahamut is miracle enough. You have risen high on his wings, but you shall rise no higher, lest your impure blood stain the throne.
What do you know of my blood?
Вот бы ей. Ну ладно. Сделать неприятно. А то уж слишком она долго наслаждается радостью. Уж не она ли будет финальным боссом? А потом выяснится, что на самом деле она баба Ультимы. Ну или кто она там, блядь. Может, Ультима-то не единственный кто. Хотя не, погоди, Ультима хочет там войти в Клайва. Она хочет править миром.
No. His Radiance has lost one capital already. We can be sure Sylvester will do everything in his power to hold on to Twinside.
Сильвестр Сталлоне?
His troops are well
Надеюсь.
trained and increasingly battle-hardened. But
Здорово, ребят.
as if we can wait for the siege to end.
Уинь. Я подбираю какое-то говно. Мне оно, может быть, не понадобится вообще. Поднажми.
More refugees.
And they're all making for the crystalline dominion.
Because they don't know how to live without the crystal's blessing.
Как? Руками. И люди беспомощные. Но, с другой стороны, я их понимаю. Отбери вот у нас сейчас дар электричества. Мы же хереем.
This is where we're supposed to meet Goots, isn't it?
That's right. He said he'd wait for us here after replenishing his supplies. I dare say he'll have finished by now.
Hurry, man. I must leave for the communion. Bloody crimson caravans, scooping up all the best customers. Some for the rest of us.
Оп, сундучок. Музычку нашел. И клыков острых 15. Блин, почему вы не можете разбрасывать крутые пухи по сундучкам? Артефакты, пухи, броню, что угодно. Не обязательно даже, чтобы сундуков было много. В той же 9-й финалке там на локацию обычно, штуки 4-5. И в основном это хилки, гилы и что-то прям очень полезное. Это было так классно, было так здорово. Тут вроде как бы есть смысл, конечно, исследовать, потому что ты хоть что-то найдешь. Но с другой стороны, смысла исследовать нет. Ты ничего не пишешь там в чат? Ничего, да? Пустота? Тут тишина такая. Я думал, может, это что не слышу, не вижу. Не пишу. Ну ладно. Мангу читаешь, наверное. Так, усилитель мне не нужен. Он у меня есть. Так, пара лент, метеорит, розы. Зачем все это? Хрена ли омеченный-то? Я ж стер себе с лица эту татуху. Рынки Боклада. Лепехи и хлеб.
You won't find any cheaper, not nowadays. You're more than welcome to look.
The Empire's unlawful and illegitimate occupation of the crystalline dominion is still in effect. Only those whose business in Twinside has been officially approved by the Republican Army will be permitted to cross the border. All who seek entry are to form a line and ready their documents for inspection.
Looks like we aren't the only ones who are eager to leave.
And they're checking everyone.
Готовим карман под новую какую-нибудь там меточку.
We won't get through without that pass. Let's go and find Gooch, shall we?
Гуч. Почему они его перевели как Гетц, если он Гудс?
He must be around here somewhere.
Причем, скорее всего, даже по-английски созвучно с этими. С английским словом goods, как предметы торговли полезные. Возможно. А может и нет. Как интересно, по-японски его зовут. А, вон он стоит. О, Гудс.
Good. There you are.
Clive, I'm so sorry. Don't tell Nan, will you?
Slow down, Good. Just tell us what happened.
It's betrayed pass. It's gone. We cannot ride the caravan without it. We won't even be able to get through the flipping checkpoint.
Do you remember when you last saw it?
It was in my pocket a minute ago. Then a bairn bumped into me and... Here. You don't think that they might have nicked it, do you?
It wouldn't surprise me. A busy market like this is prime territory for pickpockets.
Да ну ты чё, чтоб дети и воровали.
We need to find this child. Where would we even start?
I know where. I've got a pal in Bocklad who might be able to help us. No one knows more about what goes on round here than she does.
Where do we find her?
She's the owner of the Crimson Caravans, up that way. Sign's got a red chocobo on it.
No time like the present.
You two go on ahead. I'm gonna check the rest of my stuff, make sure nothing else is missing.
All right. We'll meet you there.
Я поначалу думал, что его подруга тоже из публичного дома, но потом вспомнил, что в публичных домах себе подруг заводил только Сид. Зато сразу понятно, откуда бабка Харон. У Сида, я так понимаю, друзей женщин не из публичных домов, по-моему, не было. Так, а куда я иду? А, так я добрался до алых караванов. Алый караван где-то тут. Подожди, а где? А, там красный чокобо на вывеске. Желтый. Желтый. Это вот это, что ли? Да. Подворотне сидит.
It's 10 million for a two-birder to the Crystalline Dominion. Take it or leave it.
Oh, we're not here for that.
Then I bid you good day.
Oh, wait! Don't go, El! He's me mate.
As I live and breathe. Goots, what are you doing back in Boklad?
Компашка, конечно, такая, да, добротная.
I gather Lady Karen didn't send you.
А может она? Что ты взяла-то? Мы ребята интересные, мы любим быть посланными.
So what trouble have you got yourself into this time?
It's me trader's pass. It got stolen. By a little bairn.
Of all the... You're the size of a marble. Honestly. Ugh.
Goots told us that you know the markets well. Might you have an idea which little bairn could have done this?
We don't intend to punish them. We just need our pass back. Then we can be on our way.
I see. So neither of you has a trader's pass either.
Типа да.
Not that anyone would take you for traders, but I suppose that's why you came to me, correct?
А чё сайды? Их не было.
Now, I can't say for sure who took your pass, but I suspect I know why they did it.
Да, ну посмотрю
Let
потом,
me explain.
после ролика. Ну ты куда? Выполнил я их? Куда? Ну я понял, я проверю.
Ever since the Fist marched on the Dominion, the Republic has been clamping down on any commerce that might aid the Empire more than it does us. Which means traders' passes have gone from being merely a way of easing one's progress to being essential if one wishes to cross the border at all. And with demand outstripping supply, they've become a precious commodity, leading some to seek to acquire them by less than legitimate means.
So the children are stealing passes to sell on the black market.
Yes and no. Passes are inscribed with the names of their owners, and yet none of the victims' names have appeared on the register of those passing through the checkpoint.
Which means?
That someone is doctoring the stolen passes. The same someone who is encouraging the children to steal them. And the
Это
same
проблема.
someone who has Goots' pass, no doubt. Whoever they are, they're ruining the livelihoods of honest merchants, which is why we've decided to take a stand. Will you stand with us? You want to get
Вообще
the pass
легко.
back, and we want to ensure that no more are stolen. Catch whoever's behind it all, and two birds shall be slain with a single stone.
Is there any other way of getting to the Crystalline Dominion, Goots?
They won't let you in if you're not with the caravan. It's that, I don't know.
Отличный вариант, мне нравится.
But the guards will definitely spot you if you try and do that. Like, we don't want to get spotted, right?
So either we find the people who took the pass, or give up all hope.
Да
of
ща
entering the
найдем,
Dominion.
не переживайте.
All right. We'll
Thank you kindly. But I don't know your name. Eloise at your service.
Clive.
A pleasure doing business with you, Clive.
Пропуск очередной. Метка там, в смысле. О! Печать, да, печать.
The proprietor of the furniture makers by the coach stop is spearheading the search. Wear that, and he will know you for a friend. I suggest that you speak with him first.
The furniture makers. Understood.
Ну хорошо, один побочный я упустил. Признаю. Пойду тады. Это, по-моему, побочник на усиление каких-нибудь жижек. Так, кузнец ничего не дает. О! За писюльках есть квестюлька. Что пишет? А, нифига тут, ё-моё, тут квестов-то. Об Лекторне. Спасибо за то, что помог развеять дурные мысли Блэкторна. Беда в том, что он, похоже, вновь погрузился в них. Смотришь на него, и сразу видно, что нос повесил. Полагаю, не только тот кожаный доспех растревожил нашего кузнеца, и есть иная напасть, не дающая покоя. Я понимаю, что дел у тебя хватает, но, как выдастся свободный миг, наведаешься со мной к старому ворчуну. Попробуем расспросить, что же его так волнует. Надеюсь, не просто дела кузнечные, а какие еще? Сердечные?
Hopefully it's nothing. But I should speak to Blackthorn just in case.
Клайв, твой пес какой-то странный. Пусть ваша светлость заглянет в плату. Окей, а чё он странный? Ну да, он этот. Фенрир. А, типа, превращение в Фенрира это типа не подает виду. Все нормально. Типа, пес как пес. Между нами. Откройте 10 писем. Отлично, ачивку дали. По велению Отто я проверял счета убежища и, возможно, наткнулся на нечто потенциально требующее твоего внимания. Думаю, тебе стоит заглянуть, причем как можно скорее. Ты знаешь, где меня искать? Нет, я не знаю, где тебя искать. Год. На кладбище? Беда со счетами. Да, конечно. Давайте. 4 побочных квеста. Это рекорд. Обычно их поменьше разом выдают. Сайт есть. Есть сайт. Так, Блэкторн, иди нафиг. Мне нужно взять последний еще один квест и будем жить. Почему ты медленно так бегаешь по городу? Я хочу бегать, чтобы ты бегал, бегал. Что, не туда пришел? А, не, это, наверное, это что? Это лаборатория этой? Нашей специалистики. А. Оуайн! Вот это у тебя имя.
Sid, reckon you might be just the man to help me out of a bit of bother, if you remind.
Да не вопрос. Что делать-то?
Well, it's about this alembic the chief's got me making.
Самогон гонишь?
Lovely bit of kit it is. Bung in a solution you want splitting, and it will separate it out just like that. Problem is, it won't always get rid of all the impurities. And with some of the stuff we need it for, that ain't good enough. Which is why I've been looking for something to filter the liquid we'll be cooking off. And that's where I was hoping you could help me out.
Okay.
I imagine Ty could get some use out of this alembic too. Distilling medicines and the like. All right. Why not?
Proper job!
So what exactly do you need for this filter?
Nothing but bomb ash'll do, says the chief. Gave me a sample she'd obtained from the university stores. Couldn't believe my eyes. You pour the blackest blight water through it, and it comes out clear as a mountain stream. So, I did a bit of reading about where I might be able to get hold of some. And do you know what I found out? It's only the blimmin' bones of a bomb king. They leave them behind when they die, see?
Блин.
I take it that's where I
С
can...
неприятными ребятами придется мне сейчас столкнуться.
If you wouldn't mind. I saw a billet on the hunt board for one just the other day. Would have gone myself, but, well, fighting dirty great balls of flame isn't exactly my forte. You, on the other hand...
All right.
Да.
I'll see what I can do.
Я такой.
Kindly. And good hunting, eh?
Великий хунтер. Так, ну пойдем решать сейчас проблемы наших ребят. Царь Бумба. Котел, Сенбрек. Чё, пошли сразу и наваляем. Чё тянуть-то с этими разговорами? Так. Сенбрек. Это где? Во. Сенбрек. Ну, давай с южного начнем. Где-то в котле. Так. Угу. Угу. Ты, видимо, не здесь, да? Не вижу я тут никакого котла. Здесь плохо, где я не был. Вот тут имперская погоня. Это что-то котел. Ну ладно, схожу туда. Понял. Понял, сообразил. О, даже кого-то победили. Понял. Здорово, петушки. Не сегодня, завтра приду поиграемся. Сейчас что-то неохота. Так, имперская погоня. Локация новая, надо ее поисследовать, посмотреть. Ничего себе. Прикольно. Жаль, тут ни хрена нету. Ну, я имею в виду что-нибудь из того, что мне было необходимо, а именно охоты. Папа. Здесь нельзя нигде нам наверх забраться, то думаешь, можно? Нет? Нельзя. Это Heaven Hall. А, вон котел, кстати. Нифига себе. Скрытый, а? Гаденыш. Оказался. А я даже не заметил, что там есть какой-то проход. На месте. Царь-бомба. Царь-бомба. А, в смысле, у нее нету брони никакой, что ли? Все, что я должен сделать, это просто развалить ее. Что ж, ладно. А, она очнулась. Сейчас бабахнет. Она размножилась. Нифига. А я кому-то впихнул, да, вроде? Да, нет, фиолетовая не она. Превращайся в... Заодно и залечимся. Я-то думал, царь-бомба это что-то опасное, а это оказалось просто, ну... Промазал. А ульта отэтывается скоро. Ладно. Запускай. Я умру, сейчас умру. Нет, не умру, не умру. Да-да-да-да-да-да-да-да. Вот так-то вот. Чуть не умер. Ну, если стоишь, когда вокруг тебя много шаров и все в тебя плюются, это, ну, как бы, да, понятное дело, опасно. Поэтому, если бы я погиб, я в силе не расстроился. Уголек бомбы. Все. Победа наша.
That should do it. The wine needs more than this.
All right there, Sid?
No.
How's that hunt for the bomb ash going?
Да, вообще отлично. Зырь что нашел.
That's the stuff. And plenty of it, too. Enough to keep the Alembic bubbling away for a good old while. You're a gent, Sid. Let none say otherwise. Right then, let's get this contraption up and running.
Блин, в натуре самогонку фигачит.
Telemon Alembic. And it works just like the chief said it would.
Very impressive.
Says the man who cut down a burning boulder. Speaking of which, I still haven't returned the favor.
There's no need. The good it will do for the hideaway is reward enough.
Don't be silly. Why don't you let me take a look at that bag of yours? The one you keep your potions in. Reckon I could work some magic on that, huh?
What kind of magic?
Well, we happen to have isolated a substance in our test run of the Alembic that I reckon will make even the toughest lever supple as anything. Thought we might use it to breathe new life into old boots and the like. Save the hideaway a few gil. Ah, I reckon if we slap a bit on your bag, it'll loosen it up enough for you to squeeze in a bottle or two more.
Типа больше хилок могу таскать.
It can't hurt to try, I suppose.
That's the spirit. Leave it with me. I'll only be a mo. Well, what do you reckon?
It certainly feels more flexible.
Right? Told you.
Thank you. I think.
No. Thank you for supporting Mid and the rest of us in our endeavors. Without you, we'd never have been able to discover wonders like that stuff I rubbed on your bag. And I'm telling you, there's plenty more where that came from.
Спасибо на добром слове. Фига, прям нормально так накидали. Теперь, я так понимаю, мне нужно закупиться теперь зельями, потому что недостаток их. Так, ну пойдем. Дальше разбираться с суперквестами. А, год.
Did you get my letter?
Да.
That's why I'm here.
А чё шепотом?
Otto might be listening.
Is this better?
A little. Listen. I've some bad news. It turns out the hideaway may be slightly behind in its payment to certain lenders, and it's maybe my fault. But I swear to the goddess, I thought I had the numbers square. Sadly, that square turned out to be more of a circle. Zero, you might say. I can straighten it out, I swear, but it's gonna take some time, and I'm gonna need help keeping it from Otto.
Bit late for that, I'd say.
There you are! What a surprise!
So let me get this straight. You forget to pay our lenders what they're due, and instead of coming straight to me, you get Clive to come to you. And I hope he'll dig you out of the hole you've dug for yourself. Clive, the man in charge of the place you've been cheerfully trying to bankrupt. And you thought this was a cunning plan. Why? Well, who needs paying?
Oh, just Martha. And the Dame. And, well, Lady Karen. But only
500 talents.
We owe 3 of our most trusted friends 5 million gil.
Each. 5 million each. They lent us the bulk of money
15
we used to
миллионов.
rebuild the hideaway, you see, and well, I must have made some sort of
Нифига себе.
oversight.
Копейки.
Those ledgers were my responsibility. It was my decision to
Шутник.
entrust them to you.
Ну, мы чуть-чуть задолжали.
That much to hand? I can always ask my uncle.
Вообще, копейку, блин.
We don't. And no, you won't. We've lightened Lord Rosfield's purse enough. After the king's ransom we had off him, he deserves better than to see our begging bowl. Besides, we'll need to learn to stand on our own if we're gonna make this work.
Здравая мысль.
But that doesn't mean you have to shoulder the burden yourself. Is there anything I can do to help?
There might be.
Иди в публичный дом, работай жопой.
These to Martha and the Dane.
Что делать еще? Такую сумму.
Rocks, he says. Worth 1,000 talents apiece, these are.
Серьезно?
Something Sid and I set aside for when times got lean.
Да, и мы сейчас этот черный день настал.
$1 million in overdue debt probably qualifies. I just hope our associates' eyes are a bit more discerning than yours.
I'm sure there will be.
Should be me making the rounds, really. But you know how it is with this place. Orders to bark, asses to wipe, and all that.
I know. Which is why I don't mind going in your place.
Go. Do you know why I only gave Master Clive here 2 star rubies?
Because you'd rather Lady Karen killed me.
Because I'd rather Lady Karen killed you. Yes.
Well, I suppose this is goodbye then.
Леди Харон, это да, добротная.
I'm sure Karen will understand.
Конечно.
Do you think so?
Это все убежище болит. Ой, болит, боится. Звездный Рубин.
Mick told me she was building a ship.
Марти и Изабелле. Who is Изабелла? С Мартой еще хрен с ними, я что-то помню. Who is Изабелла? Это типа мадам из публичного дома? В принципе, про любую женщину тут можно предположить, что она из публичного дома. Потому что не так много у меня сейчас женских персонажей. Hello, Март.
Clive, we weren't expecting you.
Долго ждали?
To be here, but it seems we still owe you a considerable amount of coin for your help with our rebuilding efforts. And though I doubt it's what you were expecting, we were hoping you'd take this as payment.
A star ruby? I can't accept this. It's worth at least twice what you owe me. More if you can find yourself the right buyer.
Think of the difference as interest.
Interest? If word got out I charged that much, no one would ever borrow from me again. Anyway, why are you the one here asking me about this? I'd have expected Otto. Bit much sending the Lord Marquis out to settle your debts, isn't it? The old goat working himself to death again.
Something like that. Most days I think he's the only reason the hideaway's still standing.
Same as always, eh? Back when the place was nothing but a twinkle in the eye of a recently retired Lord Commander, word is he was the first one Sid reached out to. Probably knew that without his strong arm and level head, the idea would never get off the ground. Sid may have been the face of the hideaway, but Otto's always been the backbone. And when Sid passed away, we were all worried that would be the end of it. That Otto would just give up.
His death was hard on everyone. But it must have hit Otto hardest of all.
But he didn't give up, did he? Quite the opposite, in fact. If I recall, he was the one who nominated you as Sid's replacement, and rallied the rest around you. I reckon what he saw in Sid, he saw in you too. And don't we all? Doesn't hurt that you're half as stubborn and twice as handsome, neither. That, and you keep good company.
I suppose I do.
Да ну, я никак не красивее Сида, ты шо? Сид был настоящим, крутым таким брутальным мужиком. Он мог бы соблазнять мужиков, но он не гей, а творение богов.
There's talk that the Glassgate flood has finally spread.
Did you hear? The gates to heaven.
I want to see you.
Даже несмотря на то, что я принесу огромные деньги, меня ведь так и не пустят к вам, да, в этот замечательный домик. Блин, в игре 2003 или 2002 года Fable даже можно было ходить в публичный дом. Ужас. А здесь нельзя. Как так-то? Мы же во взрослую игру играем. Мне до сих пор вот прям будоражится.
Otto asked me to give it to you. To settle the hideaway's debt with the Veil. And to compensate you for the time it took us to do so.
You disappoint me, Clive. I thought you might finally be warming to me. Tell Otto he can keep his baubles. I tried to tell him as much the first time around. The man owes me nothing, nor does the hideaway. My contribution to the restoration effort was made freely and willingly. It was the least I could do.
You once told me Sid did you a kindness. I'd like to do the same. Please, accept it. For my sake. And for Otto's. For all of us. For all you've done.
It is rather fetching, isn't it? Very well. Otto is lucky to have you, Clive. I doubt anything could ever replace his son. But you and the others at the hideaway are the closest thing he has to family.
Otto had a son.
Long ago, yes. Sid told me Otto lost him when he was just a boy, and blamed himself for not being able to stop it. I don't know how it happened, whether there was anything he could have done, but it was clear that it weighed heavily on him.
I didn't know.
How could you have? I doubt anyone did. Besides Sid, I've never met a man more keen to bear his sorrows in stoic silence. An ill habit, given that both have always been surrounded by friends desperate to help them.
I'm beginning to see that. Go will want to know the stones were delivered. If he's still with us.
А, мне надо сейчас обратно, да, да. Здесь же есть классная вот эта тема с автоматической телепортацией на точку выдачи квеста.
Still alive, I see. So Lady Karen accepted the ruby.
Ah, about that. I tried my best, but she was just too stubborn to take it. She threw it right back in my face, in fact, and told me I could stick my stupid stone where the sun don't shine.
Karen refused payment.
I hope it wasn't something I said.
I'm sure you were as tactful as ever. Let me see what I can do.
Wonderful.
Ты не боишься, что тебе тоже влетит? Прям так хорошо влетит. Ну ладно, как бы мое дело-то маленькое. Показалось, что забавная анимация. Я люблю наблюдать забавные анимации. Казалось.
told me she was building a ship.
Так, а она мне, кстати... ну сейчас, видимо, мы именно по поводу камушка-то и будем разговаривать, верно? Не по поводу ее письма.
Goad tells me you weren't happy with our offer. Would you prefer the debt was repaid in coin?
What debt? I don't recall lending any of you lot me hard-earned gil. I may have tossed a talent or two in the Hideaway's coffers, but those were donations, and you can hardly call it charity if you go asking for it back.
Of course not. But one good turn deserves another. And our circumstances have changed. Surely you wouldn't shun the gratitude of a pauper who happened to have become a prince.
Oh, so you're a prince now, are you? Fine. But I'm selling it and taking what I'm owed, then you're getting the rest whether you like it or not.
Сварливая женщина. Но добрая внутри.
Even get this. A decent trader might nab 1,000 talents for a star ruby. A canny one, meanwhile, might claim it were nicked from the belt of Sid the Outlaw himself and ask twice as much. Might be I already have a buyer in mind.
Ты сама там разберись.
Might be you even know her. A fine continental maid whose beauty's only eclipsed by a guile in commerce. You wouldn't mind, would you?
Not at all. Just be sure to tell her that it's always a pleasure doing business.
О ком речь-то? Об этом, что ли? Мужике с базара этого восточного, который сейчас притворяется женщиной.
I hear you ended up delivering all 3 stones. Thanks to this lump. I sometimes wonder what I pay you for.
Speaking of which, I still haven't been paid last month's wages.
Oh, so you remember what's owed to you then? Get your ass behind that disc of yours and don't get up before those ledgers are square.
Right away.
Идется, тогда получишь зарплату.
I've seen that before.
You have, yeah. Plenty of times. It was the only goblet Sid ever used, either out of habit or because the filthy sod couldn't be bothered to find a clean one.
I knew so little about him.
Like most people.
Martha and the Dame both seem to have fond memories of him.
I bet they do.
How long did you know Sid before he...
Before he died. 20 summers, give or take. Back in the day, I was a purser on a trade ship, which is where I met him. He bought passage to... I forget where. But having nothing better to do on the long nights, we set up drinking island rum till the morning bell dragged me back to my duties. Quit my post not long after that. On account of making a fine maiden's belly fat. But me and Sid stayed close, promising we'd one day sail the seas again. That was before fate stepped in and said she was having none of it. The magic woke inside my son soon after his first name day, and there was no hiding his knack.
Couldn't you and your family have...
My family were the ones who summoned the constable, wanted the monster taken away. I couldn't turn my back on him, forget what I felt, and I couldn't for the life of me understand how they could. Luckily, Sid was of the same mind as me. It was him who stood beside me when all I wanted was to tear the whole world down. Him who cried for me when I had no tears left of my own. Him who swore he'd do everything he could to stop it from happening again. And he was true to his word, too. Left the Royal Army once and for all. His ranks, his ribbons, gone. Just like that. Threw away everything he had. All to right a wrong that no one else had the courage to face. I knew then I'd follow that man to the ends of the earth.
Крутой этот ваш сит-то.
He was always too clever for his own good, was Sid. Saw the world for what it really was, while the rest of us were content to go along with the lie we were shown. And it can't have been easy, bearing that burden alone.
Сид, да-да-да.
But he didn't let it stop him. He never lost faith in what he believed was right. And that gave us faith in him. Faith he'd steer us true. So I swore to myself that I'd always be right behind him, ready to catch the stubborn sod if ever he should fall.
Сид хорош. Сид тут хорош.
But I couldn't even do that. Ignore me. Just the ramblings of a tired old man. Leave that lot. I'll tidy it up in a bit.
This is Sid's handwriting. Dear Otto.
I may be drunk, but I wanted you to know this place would be fucked without you. Love you, you grumpy old sod.
This note.
Hmm? What about it?
Sid was right. Without you, we'd all be lost.
He should have bloody well said so then. Just once. Before he went. But then, why would he? Him, or anyone? I'd only have told him to piss off. You're wrong, though. Both of you. It was never just me keeping the hideaway afloat. It was all of us. I just shoved people in the right direction. I barely seem to be able to do that anymore.
Would you rather goat were at the helm?
Well, maybe I've got a few more years left in me.
I'm going to hold you to that, Otto.
Before you go, Sid would have wanted you to have this.
But that's...
This'll do me just fine. Thanks for the ray of sunshine. I'll see if I can't pay you back.
Already have.
Раскрываем персонажей. Интересно, интересно. Понятно. Это просто в комнату Клайва отнесут.
Nid told me she was building a ship.
Is that the thing Tomes helped to build?
I don't know where Sid gets the energy.
your note. You think something's wrong with Torgal?
So you can read. Congratulations. Well, I didn't say I were wrong with him. I said something weren't right. He's not been eating me treats. He used to love cracking the bones from Molly's boiled brown, but now he won't so much as look at them. Didn't like him. Which is why I'm of a mind that his mind's on something else. You've not been working him too hard, have you?
No harder than usual. Is that it, boy? Do you need a rest?
What was it you said he was? A frost wolf?
That's what the lawsman seems to think.
Then maybe this all has something to do with whatever it is that's woken inside him.
I suppose things have been different since Rosalith. Perhaps Hippocrates knows something.
Instead of everything, you mean? Perhaps.
Я думал, сейчас тоже пойдем прогуляемся с псиной, пообщаемся, она расскажет какую-нибудь свою грустную историю. Мы станем чуточку ближе.
Lawsman, I need to ask you about Torgal. Something's not right with him.
He isn't ill, is he?
I don't think so. But according to Lady Karen, he seems to have lost his appetite, which is certainly a new development. She says he's hardly been touching his bones of late, and she believes it may have something to do with what happened at Rosalith Castle.
I rather think she might be right, though not about his appetite. All canids are instinctively inclined to crack open bones for the rich marrow that resides within, and I see no reason why a frost wolf should be any different. Accordingly, I suspect it is not a lack of appetite that afflicts Torgal, but a surfeit of it. If we assume that his newfound magics require additional nourishment to sustain,
И что нужно?
it may well be that the bones Lady Karen is accustomed to providing are no longer sufficient. Frost wolves, after all, habitually prey upon far larger animals, whose bones may yield altogether different nutrients. As to where one might find a suitable substitute, some antelopes that graze the meadows of eastern Rosaria have been known to grow to a size more than double that of their lesser cousins.
I don't recall ever seeing any that large.
And little wonder. The oldest and largest such creatures rarely leave the safety of the highlands for fear of predators. The last elder antelope sighting I recall hearing about took place near Cressida, and that was long before the village was abandoned.
Even so, it seems like a good place to start.
Good hunting, Clive.
Окей. Так мне нужно просто ее охотить или... нескольких антилоп в Кресиде. Окей. Тогда пойду еще параллельно у кузнеца возьму что-нибудь.
Blackthorn, do you have a moment?
Not really, no.
This won't take long. I just wanted to ask how you're getting on. August was worried about you.
Он вечно беспокоится.
Doubting your craft, even after learning the trick of that cuirass. Is there something else weighing on your mind? Perhaps sharing your thoughts might help.
That bastard's like a dog with a bone. Still, you've got a keen eye, I'll give him that. He's just, well, Karen showed me something. Something I've never seen before.
And that was?
A sword. An odd-looking thing with a single-edged blade. The metal itself wasn't anything to write home about, but fuck me, the edge on it. You could slice a man clean in two with a weapon like that, and he'd be halfway home before he even realised he'd been cut.
So that's what's troubling you.
Рано, что ли?
Not troubling me exactly. More distracting. Can't stop thinking, how do you get an edge that sharp? It's driving me mad.
And if you knew how to do it, we could arm the curse breakers with even better blades.
That's about the size of it, yeah.
I'll see what I can find out. Sharper swords are always welcome. And we can't have our master blacksmith being distracted.
You're a soft touch, you know that. But I can't say I'm not grateful for it. Good luck, eh?
Thank you. Let's see what Karen knows about this sword. You're looking well, Karen.
What you want? Out with it.
I want to know about the sword you showed Blackthorn. Single-edged and extremely sharp.
Running around after him again, are you?
I suppose I am, yes. But I need to help him find out how to work an edge like that. It's driving him to distraction.
Little wonder, I suppose. There's not many like that make it as far as the twins, and those that do go straight into private collections. Which made it nice and easy finding a buyer.
Can you tell me who bought it? Where is it now?
You think I tell people who my clients are? Suppose you're not likely to go nicking him off me, are you now? Fine. If you stop mooning at me like that. Lord Ignac's the man you want. Dalmekian bloke. Collects weapons and the like. And he's got more money than sense, which is why he's one of my favourite clients. Reckon he'll still be at the inn in Dalamil, where I left him.
Thank you, Karen.
Oh. And he's a touch eccentric. If you take my meaning.
I appreciate the warning.
Переживем. Так. Ну, мы там что-то какой-то квест выполняем. К Марте сходим. Это тут антилоп надо валить, да? Судя по всему. Да, вот Крисида. Крисида. Готовимся вызвать замечательного Чикоубоу. Да, бедному трогалу нечего трогать. Нечего грызть. Дай ему свою курицу, ему повеселеет, 100 пудов. Да ну ладно ты, хихикаешь там. Может, и не худенький. Суть-то в другом. Мы тут, видишь, ходим, всем помогаем. Нашим товарищам. Так, я застрял в камне. Это бывает. Так, это мини-антилопка. Это чуть больше антилопка. Это минотаврик. Я просто... на курице на своей. У тебя гигантской антилопой. Это я shift случайно ласкал. Мне нужна взрослая антилопа. Она больше? Не попал, не попал, ха-ха-ха. Хорошего в этом мало. Обычные антилопы, почему они большие-то? Я думал, там реально там гигантская лошадина с рогами. Вот. Размером, блин, с полдома. Лучше бы на лося сходил тогда. Ну, чё трогал? Иди давай там, жуй. Чапи кушать не хочет. Чё? Ты довольный или чё?
I say that answers my question, which means we owe the lawsman our thanks. You're just a big puppy, aren't you? A very big puppy.
То есть мы убили там 5 антилоп, чтобы просто одну кость дать. Трогало. Прикольно. А, нет, мы все-таки остальное забираем. Ну, слава богу. А то я уже испугался, думал, просто костяшку одну надо было добыть. Просто, блин, сгеноцидили вид. Ради песика. Не, песик хороший. Я как бы ничего плохого против него не имею. Просто как-то да.
People take notice of wealthy men. Shouldn't be too hard to track down Karen's collector.
The same Drake's fang is gone. The whole mother crystal
Где?
gone.
Где? Где тот? А, во, нашел, кажется.
Will be ruined. Ruined.
Calm yourself, Lord Ignac, I beg of you, before you do yourself a mischief.
Pardon the intrusion, but...
Out! Get out! I paid for these rooms so I wouldn't be disturbed. Leave me be!
Please, allow me to apologize. His lordship is going through a difficult time, and he's never been fond of guests arriving unannounced.
Radim! Get rid of the filthy oaf this instant!
Very good, Lord Ignac. Would you mind stepping outside for a moment?
I'm sorry if I've caused you any trouble.
That? No. That's just how his lordship is. Though the morning's events have left him somewhat fractious. He's been dispossessed of his luggage, you see. The thieves also made away with a considerable amount of coin. Coin the innkeeper will soon be keen to collect.
I don't suppose a certain blade was among the stolen items. A single-edged sword. It was purchased from a merchant friend of mine.
Ah, you know Lady Karen. Yes, I'm afraid it was.
Then I'll retrieve Lord Ignac's luggage. But I have one condition.
You have but to state it. You are welcome to anything that is within my power to grant.
I want an audience with Lord Ignac. A few minutes should be enough. Then I'll be on my way.
A condition I would be a fool to refuse. Of course, you shall have your audience.
I don't suppose you saw where the thieves went.
I did not, no. Though some discreet inquiries made on his lordship's behalf mean that I know where you might find them. The bandit's bed. Every ill-gotten coin in Dalamel is said to pass through that disreputable corner of the Valcroy.
And that's where I'm heading.
I shall speak to Lord Ignac in your absence, and arrange for an audience upon your triumphant return.
That will be very kind of you.
Farewell, and best of luck.
Окей. Ух, нифига, 700 метров. Это где? Погоди, а где это? А, ву. Один хрен одинаково бежать. Причем вот сюда мне, да? Да. Так, призываем птуху. У него, конечно, занос. А, мам, мы приехали. Зачем так далеко было запихивать-то, а? Ай, давай так. Не успел. Трактирщик. Даже не сразу это понял, с кем я дерусь. С каким-то трактирщиком сражаюсь. А перед смертью он сказал: здоровяк такой со здоровенной елдой там ходит, машет.
Nothing seems to be damaged. All right. Let's get it back to Delamil.
Delamil. Let's go to Delamil. О. И что-то ты скажешь такого? Он возьмет и отдаст тебе меч.
I have you to thank for the return of my effects. What should I call you, my good man?
Wyvern. Glad to make your acquaintance.
A formidable name indeed. Well, Wyvern, I appear to be in your debt. Redeem here tells me you wished for an audience. Is that all?
A few moments of your time should suffice, yes.
You're a peculiar fellow, Wyvern. All right, speak.
Master Wyvern was wondering if you could tell him about a certain single-edged sword you recently acquired.
Oh, a true work of art, that one. Karen drove me hard on the price, but I would have sold her Radim here to get my hands on that sword. It was made in the Outer Isles, far beyond the Twins, and is used exclusively by the practitioners of a unique school of swordsmanship. They believe no combat should ever exceed a single strike, and hone their blades to such perfection that none ever does. Each sword is made for that one perfect stroke, and for that stroke only. They crack upon a second blow. There's a brutal sort of beauty to it, really.
But how do they hone such an edge?
Fine question. Why, they use a whetstone, of course. Whetstones, rather. A whole array of them, ranging from the coarse to the fine. 10,000 licks with the sharpening stone, then 10,000 more. But it is the final stone which lends the blade its legendary sharpness. A mineral quite foreign to this great realm of ours. And that is the key. The secret ingredient. Wyvern, it occurs to me that my little lecture is hardly equal to services rendered. Take this, together with my regards. The very stone of which I spoke, far rarer among collectors than even the blade itself.
Seriously?
And a far more fitting payment.
Thank you.
Обычный водный камень. 5000-ный, скорее всего, дал.
However, It is long past time we prepared ourselves to depart.
So it is. I am locked in bitter competition with a rival collector of curiosities. I am one step ahead of the unscrupulous scoundrel, but he is hard at my heels.
And there are many other collectors out there.
Too many to count, but only one do I consider my nemesis. Lord Byron Ross.
Старый пройдоха.
Thorn in my side.
I can imagine.
Везде успел.
Radim, we mustn't dawdle.
Ну, когда у тебя денег много, чё бы не поколлекционировать и не посостязаться.
Lordship is rather taken with you, Master Wyvern. Thank you again for your assistance. Coming, my lordship. I'll be right there.
Ух уж этот дядя. Мабой.
Trust Uncle Byron to find such an interesting rival. Now, let's see what Blackthorn makes of this whetstone, shall we?
Можно мне домой? Спасибо.
Sorry for the wait, but hopefully you'll agree it was worth it.
You learned something about that sword then?
I did better than that.
A whetstone?
Yes. But not one you'll find anywhere in Valisthea.
И чё, 2 меча им наточишь, он источится. Ну или сколько там мечей. Такого камушка надолго-то и не хватит. Сколько ты мечей заточишь?
Same finish on the grinding wheel. One hit and all done, eh? Might not be so bad if all you ever fought were duels. Good luck on the battlefield. Your second opponent would be your last, no matter how good you were.
Even so, is there some way it could be used to give the curse breakers an edge?
I think so, yeah. With this whetstone and the right kind of steel, I could probably even make a twin of the blade that rattled me. But there'd be no replacing this little rock once I worn it down to a sliver. I reckon we get a dozen swords from it, if that.
Ну, я же говорил.
Swords that the curse breakers wouldn't know how to wield properly, and that would see them through a single fire piece. Nah, no point trying to copy that thing. Be about as much use as a wax anvil. But finishing our blades with a whetstone this fine, now that's something to consider. And what's finer than fallen masonry, eh? Or more hard-wearing, for that matter. Just imagine it. Good Valisthean steel with an edge as sharp as any found in the Outer Isles. I won't make a copy, nah. I'll make something much better.
I'm sure the curse breakers will be delighted. Just don't push yourself too hard.
Don't you worry about me, sunshine. I've been working day and night since I was half your age, and I'll still be here when you're long gone. Hey, thanks, Clive. I mean it. I owe you one, August too. It's good to know someone's looking out for me.
You'll be happy to hear you said that.
And I'll see that my debt to you's paid. First new blade I make's got your name on it. You come and find me when you've got the materials.
All right. I will.
Давай посмотрим, что надо. Небось эти вибрисы этой... Орла. Эскиз Экскалибур. О, Экскалибур! Батюшки мои свят. Ну как же мы могли-то без Экскалибура? Это Final Fantasy, правильно? Нельзя.
Back, are ya? What's that for you, dear?
Угу. Ну, как бы... Ладно. В принципе. 300 верита надо. Не зря собирал.
Not bad, if I do say so myself.
Вот что я слышу от тебя.
noticed you and Torgal had gone off somewhere. Take him for a walk, did you?
Я его косточками угощал.
You could say that.
Нет, он больше похож на Сильвестра Сталлоне. Тут тоже так говорит, как-то так разговаривает. Или разговаривал, или продолжает разговаривать, не знаю.
So, Molly's leftovers weren't good enough, eh? Well,
Ну да.
me for treating you like you're still a pup. All right, no need to shout. Now we know what you're after. I can see about getting some in.
Speaking of which, I brought one for later. Can I leave it with you?
Такой антилопу такой ей. На! Там сама разбирайся, что с ней делать.
You can, eh? I'm nice like that. In return, you can thank Tomes for me. The bloody know-it-all.
I was just on my way to see him.
Да? Я думаю, уже все.
Ah, Clive.
Ага.
Were you able to locate your quarry?
Конечно.
Indeed, Lawsman. You pointed us in exactly the right direction.
Теперь все прошел, да? Ну, подловила, молодец. Правильно все сказала. Так и надо. А то так пол игры пройдет мимо.
After your last visit, I found myself pondering Torgal's talents.
И?
Our conversation concerning Lady Jill's role in Torgal's transformation.
About how she somehow woke the power within him.
Precisely that. A reasonable conclusion, I thought, but one which raised certain questions in my mind. You see, the Fenrir of legend served Shiva and Shiva alone. While the powers attributed to him are certainly impressive, the records imply they are somewhat different in nature to those you described Torgal as having used.
What are you suggesting?
That Torgal may be the beneficiary of more than one icon's power.
О, типа мы тоже на него влияем.
To Lady Jill, he has served as a loyal companion to you, your brother.
Всем подряд. От всех подсосал.
In short, the icons hitherto near at hand, or should I say at paw, have been diverse and plenty, and that number has only grown as the realm's dominance have fallen to your sword. One can but speculate as to how all of this has affected Torgal.
He has seemed more fierce of late.
And if I am not mistaken, he will grow fiercer still. We are fortunate indeed to be able to count
Да
him
уж, это
amongst our
точно.
allies and not our adversaries.
Oh, he's more than an ally. He's a friend.
Отлично. Клык Калаула. Немного увеличивает показатель атаки Трогала. Ну, ладушки, товарищи мои хорошие, замечательные и прекрасные. Время позднее. Мы сегодня добрались до определенной логической точки. Я считаю, что самое время сказать всем доброй ночи и удачного завтра последнего рабочего дня на этой неделе. Вот. Всех люблю, всех целую, ребят.